This week's episode of It's a Small Jurassic World, the animated series, will not be seen in order to bring you the following.
You've just tuned into That Really Swell Podcast. The voice of all things themed entertainment.
Your attention, please. We now bring you a special message from inside the Institute of Future Technology.
After years of tinkering and fine-tuning, it's finally perfected. The deep-thinking, mind-reading helmet. The ultimate thinking cap. I'm heading for my thoughts.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are in episode 6 today. Episode 6 already. More than halfway through our season of Then and Now. I'm Julie. I'm your host. I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Alex, aka Mr. Maker Mouse. Alex, say hi.
Saludos a mi gente.
Okay, so can you do that with a little bit more pep? And I will tell you why. Because in today's episode, we are going back to the future. Alex, say hi to the people, please.
Great Scott! We're going back!
We're going back to the future. We are actually going back to Universal Studios. Not Universal Orlando. We're going back to Universal Studios, where you can see the stars and ride the movies. Today we're talking. I got this shirt just for that. We're headed into World Expo, specifically in May 1991, where Back to the Future, the ride, opened. This ride was the most amazing ride in Universal Studios. As a kid, if I went to Universal Studios, I would have to go on this ride because this was the ride to go on. And so let's talk a little bit about it. Back to the Future, the ride. Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit. For those who never went on Back to the Future, the ride, and went to Universal Studios, Florida, it is where the Simpsons ride is right now. That ginormous building used to be Back to the Future, the ride.
Yeah.
So the concept of this ride, originally, it was supposed to be a roller coaster. Okay. And that idea, like, they decided not to do it because they wanted to tell a specific story, and they decided to do it with a roller coaster. It would be too difficult to tell the story with a roller coaster. Like, that's super fast and people aren't really paying attention.
And
so
it's
they
been
decided,
done.
It's been done a billion times, but which I think it was an amazing decision to make because the ride was so cool. Okay, so it was a motion simulator ride, as are many rides in Universal Studios, but I digress. It was a motion simulator ride in front of at its time, it was a huge IMAX screen.
80 feet.
At its time, it was massive. I don't remember ever going on a ride and seeing anything really like it. Like, it was huge. Yeah. So the ride, basically, it was based on Back to the Future, of course, but specifically it was sort of a mini sequel to Back to the Future Part 3, which I didn't know at the time. But now, like, looking at the videos and the pre-show and everything, and watching the ride POV, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of get it now. So that's kind of cool, like a little sequel going on that ride. So each ride, oh my gosh, it was so cool. Okay, I had to like stop myself from talking about it so much. I'm just gonna say a little bit more about the ride, and then I'll let Alex talk. When I was a kid, I thought the cool part was when you would watch like the pre-show, and in the pre-show, Biff kind of Biff snuck into the the labs, and you would see this is the
Hello?
part, yeah.
Hello?
And he would like mess around with the security camera. But this is the part, when I was a kid, this is the part that I thought was cool. When you would look at the video of Biff in the labs, you would see like, I paid attention to the wall detail, the doors, and the floors. And then when you would go into your little ride area, the hallways matched. So it felt like he was actually in your building. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Biff is here. Like for me, sorry, I'm getting so excited and knocking down my mic. For me as a kid, like that was so cool that they
He's
actually
gonna destroy our universe. This is awesome.
It's amazing. I was like, wow, it's like I'm in the movie.
He'll kill us all. Yeah.
Yeah. He had a death wish as a kid. No, but I thought that was really cool, and that attention to detail as a kid, noticing that, I just thought that was amazing. Okay, let me stop here, and I'm gonna let Alex talk a little bit about what he liked about the ride, or the building, or whatever it is.
You got 3 hours?
No, just like, I'll give you a few minutes and then we have to move on. You get to talk more, but,
Seventh grade, first time. Remember specifically, 7th grade, first time. I was with 2 other classmates. They broke us off, waiting in line for Back to the Future. Didn't know what was coming, but I do remember that long queue, walking around. And then when we're up on like the 3rd tier, was it 3 tiers, I think? 3?
Yeah, it went pretty high. Yeah.
We were way up there on the side of the building. That alone was kind of incredible because I've been to Disney for years and years and years. I had never been in a queue quite like that. And then you go inside and like you're saying, like, what is this? I'm walking through the Institute of Future Technology. I'm seeing the hoverboard on the wall. I'm seeing all these historical dates that Doc Brown went through and all the props and features. And then on the monitors, there's Biff stalking the Institute, searching for the DeLorean. Like, holy cow. And again, that's another great detail that you mentioned, the environment that we're in, matching the environment of the video. That was super cool, too. But I loved the Q video.
You've got to catch Biff. The fate of the entire universe rests in your hands. Now try and relax while we go over a few vital safety instructions.
Here are a few safety tips you should know before taking off.
Watch your head as you step into the time travel vehicle. Once in, slide to the furthest seat. Adults, watch your head as the ceiling slopes down in the back. Remain seated. The safety restraint will be activated by one of Doc Brown's assistants. Keep your arms and legs away from the door. Take extra care that cameras and other personal belongings do not interfere with the safety restraint. No photography is permitted during the ride. And please, no smoking, eating, or drinking while inside the time vehicle.
We ask that you follow these simple safety tips during your journey across the space-time continuum. Enjoy your flight.
30-minute loop video talking about Doc Brown's history and inventions and the Institute. It just all came together so brilliantly. It really felt like you were in that universe for that time that you were in the ride. And then you get to the ride. You step into the DeLorean. Are you kidding me? The DeLorean is right there in front of you. And you get to ride inside of that. It was awesome.
So each ride vehicle, so Alex is talking about when you get to go in the DeLorean, which is the ride vehicle. They all had built-in screens that was supposed to be like a live video. And then basically Doc Brown, he wasn't, of course, he's not going to be with you, but he's supposed to be piloting the DeLorean while you're in it, time traveling. So you can see a live video feed of him doing that. And then, of course, there are times in that feed where you would see Biff Tannen, which he stole the actual DeLorean. And then both feeds would kind of like just kind of be on the actual screen, which whenever I would go, I would love to get that front row because you had the screen, you had the flex capacitor right there. You had all the buttons and everything. And you're like, yeah, I'm doing this.
Let me tell you, anytime I went on the ride and I wasn't in the front row, I could not stand those front row people.
They were, I mean, I was one of them, but like they were so like, they thought so highly of themselves just because they were the front of the car and they had everything at,
That
at their access.
almost ruined the ride. The first few times you go on, I'm like, I want that front row. Jerks taking the front row.
But then you get the front row.
And then you get the front row, like,
the front row changes you. It really did. So what was cool was that the way the ride was built. So you're in front of this ginormous IMAX screen, right? For its time, ginormous. And there were 12 ride vehicles, and they were all, so everybody was in front of the screen. But when you were in the DeLorean, the doors of the DeLorean were they weren't like massively high, but they were high up enough that if you looked to the side, you wouldn't see anything. You would think that you're the only one flying through space. Yeah. Unless you got the front row. If you got the front row and you were curious like me, you would kind of like peek over.
What?
And look.
What?
Minute?
What the? What is happening? We've broken the space-time continuum. There's multiple versions of me.
If you were curious, like Alex and myself, when you got the front row, because basically the doors on the DeLorean, they were kind of like at an angle. So in the back, they were higher and the sides were higher. And in the front, they were a little bit lower. But in the front, so you can kind of like peek over and you could see all the other cars experiencing the ride. Experiencing the ride at the same time you are. So it kind of like kills that, kills it for you. But at the same time, it's intriguing because you're like, oh, that's how they do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're like, oh, look at that. We're all moving at the same time. Like, and you see that a lot goes into it because the cars have to move at the same time at the specific points in the movie because, all the movements correlate with what's happening on the screen. My favorite part was going through the active volcano and the lava. Yeah. Like the car would kind of move in such a way that you felt you were on some sort of liquid. It was so weird. It's hard to describe, but man, at its time, that ride was just amazing. Right. So for anyone who has never been on the ride, if you can look it up, or if you happen to have the 2011 DVD disc of Back to the Future for the 25th anniversary, the footage of the ride is on there. So you can actually like see what we're talking about in today's show. Yeah. So
on that note also, there's people out there with motion control seats at home who have taken that video and they've synced it to their seat in VR. And they're
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're re-experiencing the ride all over again at home.
Oh my gosh. They need to bring back that ride. Universal, please. So it was a Omni IMAX dome to be specific. And there were 12 vehicles per dome. No, 24 vehicles, 12 per dome. So 2 domes that were showing the video. Which is why when you go in the ride, when you were in the queue, you would kind of like, they would be like, you would split. Some people would go on one half of the building. Some people would go on the other. There's 2 different screens, but we're all experiencing the same ride at the same time, which is pretty cool. And the vehicles, it's just, man, when you get on it, there's so much technology that you don't know I say as a kid, because I was a kid when I went on there, but the vehicles they were on, it says 3 tiers, and they were staggered to prevent riders from seeing other riders. Yeah. But we found the way around that. So basically when they created the ride, they didn't want you to see that you're in this huge theater experiencing the ride with other people. But we found a way to see.
Really quick note, because we're talking about the experience. There's one more thing. And that was not just the ride audio or the queue audio, but just the sounds that you would hear while waiting in line. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes the queue video, they would cut to the logo for the future, or the Institute of Future Technology, and the logo would just be there spinning on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
No audio, no music. And then you would hear like these humming, like mechanical machinery, electronical humming sounds, which made it feel like an institute. And then occasionally, the closer you got to your to the boarding section, you could hear the vehicle itself, the rumble of the vehicles throughout the building.
Right, like,
and it kind of felt like, okay, so it's the ride, right? But if you step back and just have fun with it, it kind of feels like, man, I'm in an Institute of Future Technology. They're doing crazy stuff around here somewhere.
There's time travel happening right now.
Things are blowing up and sounds are rumbling. Like, what's going on? This is great.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was like, wait, is this, as a kid, I remember thinking, is this purposeful or do they just have really thin walls? Because like you would hear, especially in the pre-show room, and if you've experienced The Simpsons, it's the same thing. You can hear the vehicles in the other room. I thought it was really cool because it would just kind of add to that like excitement that you're on the ride. Oh my gosh, I'm so close. I can hear the vehicles. I can hear it happening. It was amazing. So what I didn't know when I was younger and when we went on the ride was that the creators of Back to the Future, Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, they had no involvement in the ride in Universal. But I did read that they did give not input, but kind of like a they were asked if the Doc Brown character, if they got that one down, if Universal was able to like nail that Doc Brown character. And they did confirm, yes, that is Doc Brown. But that's like about the extent of any involvement they had on the ride. Everything else was just Universal. Then Back to the Future, and I'll ask Alex if he wants to talk a little bit more about the ride, because in March 30th of 2007, unfortunately, Back to the Future closed its doors. That makes me so sad. That makes me so sad.
If there only a way we could go back.
You better get on that. You got to invent a flex capacitor.
A flex capacitor?
No.
A flux capacitor.
Flex. Did I say flex?
Yeah.
Flux capacitor. Oh my gosh.
No, there's just a dead arm in the back and the machine constantly pumping.
That's why my time travel never worked. You're not flexing hard enough.
Come on, flex.
But yeah, visiting Universal during that time was not visiting Universal if I didn't visit that ride.
No, that was the ride to go to. When you said that earlier, I was thinking, okay, there was this, that. No, that was the ride until T2 came out.
Until T2 came out, and then.
But that was definitely. It's one of those that unfortunately it would age. Clearly, it would age. It wouldn't work well. I mean, in the ride video, not the ride video, but the Q video. How many times is Doc Brown? Well, he doesn't say many times, but he says 2015. I'm communicating to you from the year 2015. It's like, it's 2019, Doc.
They would have to hire Christopher Lloyd every decade to redo the sound for that.
It's older. It's 20. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that ride.
Can I just go home now?
It wouldn't age well, so
I'm very tired.
Oh, poor Doc. That was amazing. Yeah, so that ride, I miss it so much. But
those DeLoreans, there are pictures online. Oh my goodness, it drives me nuts.
The ride vehicles you're talking about?
The ride vehicles.
Okay.
I know they're all gone. I know some collectors have them, but there was a picture of I think it was the backlot of Universal California, I think. Mm-hmm. Just a graveyard of all the dismantled vehicles just lying there.
Oh, man. That hurts. That hurts.
I'd take one and make it into a bed or something. Just sleep in it.
That hurts. Oh, man. That's my memories right there. Like, left to die. It's sad. It's very sad. But if you walk around Universal Studios, Universal Orlando right now, there is a DeLorean set up right outside the where the Simpsons are. There's a DeLorean, and there's also the train from Back to the Future 3, right? Is it part 3?
Yep.
Yeah, they're right next to each other, and there's like a little plaque in front of it telling you about Back to the Future.
And if you don't know, make sure you know you don't have to stay on one side of the train or the vehicle. You can go all the way around to the back and look at the back of the train, or the other side of the train, I would say, because you can get a full view. In the front, it's covered up by bushes and whatnot a little bit. But if you go to the back, you can see the whole thing. So don't worry about, unless they have a barrier up that day, you can go around.
That's hinted at me because I sent Alex some pictures and video, I think. And I was like, yeah, I got the Back to the Future, the train, the DeLorean. I'm so happy. And then he's like, you could have gone back to the train and got better view. I was like, okay.
Did I sound like that in my text? Because that's amazing.
That's exactly how you sounded. So rude.
To project rudeness over a text.
But yeah, you can go, apparently, according to Alex, you can go in the back of the train, get a better view. But the DeLorean is like right there. So you can walk all around the DeLorean. But the train, I had no idea. So I just took pictures of it with shrubbery and all. And I thought I did a great job, but apparently I didn't.
Didn't say anything.
You said enough. And then he decides to come on the show today and like, so if you're going to take picture of the train,
wait a minute.
Back, just jumping it in there and
you tell the people little tips and hints. I can't do when I do it. It's being cynical.
Yeah, because it's directed at me.
It's not
I know it.
At you.
Subconsciously, it's directed at me.
I was reminded. Since you were talking about it. Oh, wait, let me say, just in case there are other folks out there like yourself who didn't realize. That's all.
Okay. And then before we go into The Simpsons, I do want to mention one more Back to the Future thing. For anybody visiting Universal Orlando, if you see a gentleman in a white lab coat with crazy white hair and a notebook and sunglasses, please go up and say hi. Please give him some love.
Give some money.
Give him something.
He is
because
homeless. He's homeless.
That, for those who don't know, and I'm talking to the newer generations here, that is Doc Brown. He is everything that is time travel in this movie. And he's walking around and nobody knows who he is. So nobody's like wanting to meet and greet him. And I'm, just throw him a bone because he looked so sad when I saw him.
He's just standing there with his glasses and his watch.
He's just standing there waiting for his break. Like nobody knew who he was.
People are passing by him like,
oh my gosh.
Who's the old guy?
Poor guy.
Is that from Harry Potter?
That is Doc Brown. Please go say hi to him.
Please come say hi to me. I've lost my home. I've lost my bride. I have nothing. Literally nothing.
All he has is a train.
I walk the streets of Universal. I have no home.
Please say hi to Doc Brown. You'll make his day. I guarantee it.
Do you have extra change? A little cash? I'm so hungry.
Let's fast forward to May 15, 2008. May 15, 2008. Only a year. Okay, and in past shows, Alex and I have talked about the turnaround time for these ride closures and reopening, right? Back to the Future closed in 2007. The Simpsons ride opened in 2008. Now, that is probably a quick turnaround time because it's basically the same ride. It is the same ride.
I mean, they've invested so much into that building.
Yeah.
And the ride systems, I mean, you can't tear all that down.
It's the same ride. Like, it basically just got a facelift on the outside. And they it's all on the outside, and the whole World Expo area is now Krusty Land. You have your carnival games and things like that. I believe there's only like 2 rides. The Simpsons is one of them, and then the other one is like a I forgot, with swirling. I don't remember the name of it. It's like the alien from the Simpsons.
I don't remember the name. Kratos.
I don't remember.
Condos. It's
called Kang and Kodos Twirl and
Hurl. Is it? Is it Twirl and Hurl? I don't.
It's Twirl and Hurl.
Yeah, Twirl and Hurl. All right.
It's Twirl and Hurl. So basically, you have the big alien with its tentacles from The Simpsons, and the tentacles are holding on to individual spaceships. And then the spaceships are your ride vehicle. You get in a spaceship and you twirl, and hopefully you don't hurl, even though it's in the name.
But you're supposed to hurl. It's part of the ride.
I guess you're supposed to, but let's try not to do that. So that's one of 2 rides in the Simpsons land. The rest is, Krusty Land. You've got your carnival games that you can win prizes.
You remember when we went to eat at Krusty Burger?
Yeah.
We were so excited to eat a Krusty Burger. We were
so excited.
And to have a Flaming Mo. We were so excited.
The Flaming Mo. We went ham when we went into Simpsons Land. Okay, so if you couldn't tell already by this episode, Alex and I are huge fans of both Back to the Future and The Simpsons. And when Simpsons Land first came about, we went crazy. We were just throwing money everywhere and everything. We were so excited to have a Flaming Mo at Moe's Tavern, because they have Moe's Tavern, and you can order a Flaming Mo, which comes in a souvenir cup, which we were super excited to get. And then you can eat at Krusty Burger and get an actual Krusty Burger, and eat at the Flying Dutchman, I think.
Yeah.
Cletus's Chicken Shack. There's a few places to eat within the Simpsons land that you would find on the Simpsons show, which is cool.
Now, I got to give my opinion, really quick on that Krusty Burger.
Give your opinion, please, because you haven't this episode, and
I thought it was going to be the greatest experience on earth. I don't know what I was thinking. It's a burger. It's the real world. It's just a... I'm like, what's going on? It's just a hamburger. Oh,
you have to base it on the cartoon, and you're like, this is going to be amazing. Bro, it's just a hamburger.
It's just a hamburger.
With a cornichon on the top, the little baby pickle thingy.
And then the Flaming Mo, what was it, like a watered down Kool-Aid with dry ice on the bottom of it? So it flames up.
Okay. So the presentation of the Flaming Mo is really, really cool, because when they pour it, it starts not flaming, of course, but I think it's like, what is it? Dry ice do they have in it? I don't know what they have that creates like the little smoky aspect. Yeah. So it's not like an actual flame, it's just smoke. And like,
so it's like a cup that has, I don't remember exactly. I have the cup
has holes in the bottom. I do too. It has holes in the bottom that they put like, I think the ice in there.
Right, the dry ice, and then that comes up, and then
right.
But you're drinking like, yeah.
It's like I'm on the show. Wait a minute, this is just a normal drink.
Like
we were let down.
Powdered Kool-Aid.
Not let down like it was bad, but I don't know what our expectations were, because we were basing it on a cartoon. So we just kept spending money in every single location.
Give me one of those. Give me one of those. Give me one of those.
The one thing, okay, so let me just say, they also have Lard Lads donuts, right? And the donut. I will say, yes, I'm not typically a donut person, but I'm not a strawberry person. If you know me, you know I love chocolate, right? The classic Simpsons donut is a giant pink donut with sprinkles on it, a pink frosted donut, strawberry frosted with sprinkles. They have the Lard Lad donuts. These donuts are massive, meant to be shared, bigger than your head.
Meant to be shared.
Meant to be shared. And we got the donut, and I actually really liked it.
It is
like,
so good.
Really, it is so good. And you wouldn't think so, because like, I see donuts that are like pre-packaged. I'm like, it's been sitting there. It's, it's going to be like dry and, a little bit hard. No, this donut was amazing. And it is, I know it's not chocolate and I love chocolate, but it was so good. And if you're going to spend money in the Simpsons land, definitely get the Lard Lad donut. You will not be disappointed.
No.
That one, I can walk away saying that was amazing. That donut, definitely.
So I worked on the back lot of Universal for a long while, and after work one night, it's almost 8, and the park closes in 30 minutes. Hey guys, I need to go. I need to go now. I need to go now, and I ran to the Simpsons, and I bought 2, not 1. I bought 2
for yourself, or to bring home and share with everybody.
To bring home and share with everybody.
Okay, so Alex is saying he brought 2. These donuts are probably this big. They are bigger than your head.
Yeah.
They're huge.
So good, though.
So good.
The other thing that was really good was at Cletus's, the chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, yes.
Sandwich?
Yes, the chicken and waffles. That was good.
That's good stuff. They got some good stuff. But the bar, the mental bar, the fantasy bar was set too high in our brains for.
Okay, so it was, I think, for the gram, for Instagram. If you're gonna take pictures and photo, it's so cool. It's not just a backdrop. It's an immersive thing that you can actually go into Moe's Tavern, go into Krusty Burger. I think Moe's Tavern is the one out of all the locations that it's because it's actually the tavern you walk into, and they have, the love-o-meter in there or something. It's really, really cool. And you feel like you're actually in the bar. You can sit at the bar. There's booths in there, and it's just, Moe's Tavern, I think, out of all the little areas in there, was my favorite, because you actually felt like you were in the show.
It's the most recognizable.
Right. It was really, really cool. And then out of the food, the donut, top tier, the Lard Lad donut. And then after that, I would agree with Alex, the chicken and waffles were pretty good. Everything else is pretty standard. You have the Krusty Burger, and then you have some vegetarian options to appease Lisa. I forgot what they were. I didn't really visit that area, but so you have a few options, but those 2 we can actually highly recommend. Really, really good.
So much money.
So much money.
We spent so much money.
We're so broke. For locals going in there, we lived like Rockefellers when we were in there. Flaming Moe, $20? I'll take 2. 2 Flaming Moes. I don't know what got into us, man. We had such high expectations from the cartoon. It was just fun. It was a good time, and it's if you're a fan of the show, it's a nice experience to have. So if you want to connect with us, you can visit us on TikTok. We have TikTok, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram.
The gram.
We have the gram. So you can connect with
us
on
Vine.
all those.
We also have Vine.
Vine? Yeah. Do we have Vine?
Is that not a thing anymore?
Vine?
Yeah, do it for the Vine.
Do we also have MySpace, Alex? Do we have MySpace too? Okay, don't even listen to him. The socials that I mentioned, you could connect with us on those socials as well. All right. Fine. MySpace. Okay. How can I forget? The Quickie Mart.
Yes.
The Quickie Mart is there as well. And the Quickie Mart is, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering it correctly, it's kind of like a little gift shop.
Yeah.
So the outside appearance is like the Quickie Mart, but
where here's a little shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell them. Okay. While all those suckers are waiting in line at Lard Lad.
The Simpsons?
No.
Lard Lad.
Lard Lad, getting their donuts, waiting for it.
Yeah.
They have some in the Quickie Mart. Shorter line, nobody even knows. Just go up to the counter and ask.
No one knows. And actually, you can probably visit other areas in the Simpsons land, because if I'm not mistaken, in the little cafeteria area of sorts where it has Moe's Tavern, Krusty Burger, Cletus, chicken and waffles and stuff, if I'm remembering it correctly, because they're trying to move these donuts, they have the pre-packaged Lard Lad donuts in those areas as well.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to wait in the Lard Lad line, which I know if you want to like feel fully immersed, you want to, but you don't have to. And it's the same donut, and it's amazing.
I feel like we're gonna do an entire podcast on the Lard Lad one day.
Just a donut, just a donut. I'm gonna have to have you go to Universal, get the donut, ship it to me like overnight, and then have to do an episode just eating the Lard Lad donut.
So just an hour of us.
That's it. That's the whole show. Like I said, this was amazing.
Oh.
That will be the ASMR show for everybody. Oh goodness. What else do we have? Duff. We have I mean, I don't drink, but there's like a bar with Duff beer that you can get the Duff beer.
But it comes off as the Duff Factory.
The Duff Factory, yeah. And they have what is what's a Duff Man? What is his name?
Duff Man. Oh yeah.
Duff Man. In the front, they have a bunch of different photo ops. They have Duff Man. They have,
so these are life-size characters,
they're right,
like that are statues that you can
that you can just take a picture in front.
Well, if you mention that, they've got Chief Wiggum
with his the police vehicle as well. They have
the taco stand.
The taco stand. Wait, what's his name? The bumblebee guy.
That's all they call him, the bumblebee guy.
It's Bumblebee. And they have the taco stand. So like you really feel like you're in Springfield, which is so cool if you're a fan of the show. Lots of stuff to take pictures of, lots of food to experience. It's really
There's
really fun.
A lot of photo ops. There's also Millhouse sitting on a bench that you can sit next to him. There's graffiti from Nelson.
Oh, and Barto.
El Barto.
Yeah, It's you'll find a lot of little show Easter eggs in the Simpsons land. It's pretty nice. Like if you are able to go, like I would suggest just walking around, because in every single corner you will find like something to take a picture of or experience, which is neat. So after Universal Orlando got rid of Back to the Future and they built this really nice Simpsons land, in 2019 Disney acquired Fox, which means The Simpsons is now owned by Disney. Poor Universal.
You're like, come on!
Can't we have anything?
We tried Marvel, that didn't work. Come on!
Over in Islands of Adventure, Marvel Superhero Island, owned by Disney. So now in Universal Studios, The Simpsons land. Simpsons is owned by Fox. Fox is owned by Disney. So yeah, everything that, Disney, Universal is going through with Marvel, they are now going through with The Simpsons, except the terms of the agreement are not made public with the Universal and the Disney and Fox acquisition. But we know that there is an expiration date on that. Right. And it's coming up in a few years. So when that happens, like, do they have to just tear everything down and think of a new franchise?
I would think at this point they'd personally.
Can they just keep paying Disney?
But who wants to do that? They want their own property, right?
That's true. Disney owns already like half their park. They own the islands and
It'll probably be, well, it could be, not probably, but it could be another Minions thing. I mean, they have Illumination.
Oh, gosh.
They've got Illumination Studios. They can do whatever the heck they want. But I don't think, I really, really don't think they would do another, like they would not redress the building and keep it a simulator again. Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm still in. Fool me 3 times, then it's definitely my fault. Because when Simpsons came, like, oh, this is cool. It's the same thing, but that was in the back of your mind. You didn't really think about it. It's cool. It was fun. But if you do it again in this day and age with all the technology that we've experienced in theme parks, you're going to be like, it's the same thing. So I think they have to tear that whole thing down and rebuild that whole section into something else. I think
much money.
I think it's going to be gone. That's just an opinion.
It's a shame because it is such it's such a brilliant land, you know, like I liked Back to the Future, and Back to the Future will always have a special place in my heart, but like the way they did Springfield and Krusty Land, like they did a really great job. And to see that, you know, inevitably it might, you know, it'll be gone. It's sad because
but they've got Nintendo.
Oh yeah, but they already have plans to build that somewhere. Unless they build, it's like an extension. Maybe they'll have it like
they did it with Potter.
Yeah,
Potter's in 2 parks, so why wouldn't they?
They'll think of something good.
I think it'll probably end up being something Nintendo around there. They have years of properties left, so I don't think they're sweating it.
All right, now's the part of the show. I have trivia for Alex. Hopefully he'll do well in this one because it's a Back to the Future and Simpsons trivia.
Give it to me.
I love both these franchises. Usually my trivias are like 3 questions. I think there's probably like 5 questions in this trivia. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but let's see. Okay. Are you ready, Alex?
I have Wikipedia open. Yes, I'm ready.
Close the Wikipedia tab, please.
But okay.
No, you cannot cheat. All right. There's 5 questions. Okay. Let's start with Back to the Future. All right. What is the exact name of the almanac from Back to the Future Part 2?
Gray's Sports Almanac.
I'll give it to you. It's Gray Sports Almanac.
Confidence destroyed.
No, very good. Gray Sports Almanac. Gray Sports Almanac. It all runs together.
Yeah.
You know, one thing. Yes, it's called Gray Sports Almanac.
I have a copy of
Marty
it. Marty
buys it. In the Back to the Future movie, Marty McFly decides to buy it and kind of make some money in the future with it, and things go haywire because you shouldn't be messing with space and time.
I was at a photo shoot with the DeLorean, not the one in the park, but a nicer one, and I had made some copies of Gray Sports Almanac to hand out so people can use it for the photo shoot. And I would hand it out, and some people would grab and go, "What's this? Is this important to the movie?" Like, just give me that back. Take your photo. Get out of here.
Next question.
All right.
You might need pen and paper for this one. Or this is one of those that you have to think out loud, like the Epcot one in the past episode. What? Yes! Is that a scissors? I can't see. What is that? Is that a pen? Okay. Pen. Good. Perfect. All right. What are the 4 years? There's 4 of them, which they time travel.
Oh. To the future. So 85.
Name them.
1985, 2015, 1955, and 1885.
Do you have Wikipedia up?
No.
That's amazing.
They all end in 5.
Wait. Hold on. Say it again.
1985.
Uh-huh.
2015.
Uh-huh.
1885.
Uh-huh.
And 1955.
Yes. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. See, like, when we started the show, like episode 1, Alex did so bad on these trivias.
Well, it just depends on what we're talking about. What we're talking about. I have $1,000 6-scale DeLorean replica. I better know these questions or these answers.
He does. He really does. You should see his room without the green screens. It's like Universal just exploded all over. So yeah, he'll probably do really well on these trivia. Okay, so that was good for Back to the Future. You got 100 on that one. let's move on to the Simpsons
Uh-oh.
trivia.
Now, here's
Okay,
what
so I have 3 questions. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so the first question: what's the Simpsons' address for their home?
Oh man, I see the numbers floating and the name floating.
Come on,
but there's no way.
You have decades of watching this show. Come on.
Evergreen Terrace.
Yes, but what's the number?
I don't know the number. Evergreen Terrace. So.
Half credit. It's 742.
742.
Evergreen Terrace. 742 Evergreen Terrace.
Undoubtedly, that means something in production.
Pretty sure.
But I don't know it.
742 Evergreen Terrace is the Simpsons' home address. All right.
You know, there's an actual somebody rebuilt the house. Probably.
Yes, I saw that online.
Oh.
I mean, that's. Do they actually live there, or is it like a museum of sorts? That
No,
you can
I
just
think
go
it
in
was
and,
up
take
for
pictures of?
sale. I think it was part of like a contest or something, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 742 Evergreen Terrace. All right. Next question. What is Bart's full name? Bart is the oldest of the 2 Simpsons children. What is his full name? First, middle, and you know the last name.
I only have Bartholomew. I can't
think
of what the middle name.
So Bartholomew, last name, of course.
Simpson. Yeah, no, I don't
Simpson.
have the middle name.
You don't have the middle name?
Mm-mm.
All right, we'll do another half credit for Alex on this one. Bartholomew Jojo Simpson.
I've never heard JoJo.
Bartholomew Jojo.
I was gonna say J.
That's Homer.
Right, that is Homer.
Well, let's give you credit for the other one. What does the J in Homer J. Simpson stand for?
I don't know.
Come on!
Isn't it J?
It's Homer J. Simpson, but what is the J in Homer J. Simpson
But I mean,
stand
like J-A-Y? J?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! We'll put that credit toward the last one. Homer J.
Why wasn't
Simpson.
school like this? You can just transfer credits over here.
I make it easy. All right. Now, what jazz musician does Lisa meet on the streets of Springtown?
Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Yes! Awesome. All right. I'm going to give you a bonus question.
Okay.
This bonus question I asked Daniel yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He got it right. I didn't know he was going to get it right.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna ask you this bonus question. Okay. All right. Now, for all the Lard Lad donuts, in what episode did Homer wish for a sandwich?
Wish for a sandwich?
He spent his wish on a sandwich.
Call Daniel.
Really?
Bring him on the show. I have no clue.
I knew that one was kind of hard. It was an episode titled Monkey Paw. Do you remember Monkey Paw? Monkey Paw, yep. He had one wish and he wished for a sandwich.
Is that's a Treehouse of Horror?
Treehouse of Horror?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know for sure, but I'm just...
That's a Treehouse of Horrors episode. If you're talking about a monkey paw, then yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was episode titled Monkey Paw. So overall, you did pretty well. You did really good on the Back to the Future one. It should have included more questions on that. But you did a lot better than you did in our very first episode. So
what does that tell you?
That you get better with age.
No, that's not it.
Better with time. That you do good on Universal trivia as opposed to Disney trivia.
Exactly.
All right. I guess that's it. We have to incorporate more Universal episodes. But yeah, so we talked about Back to the Future. We talked about Springfield. We want to hear from you guys. What are your personal experiences? We spoke about ours. Did you ever ride on Back to the Future? Did you ever ride on the Simpsons ride? Did you ride both? tell us whatever you want to tell us. Connect with us. You can comment down below. We will read some comments on future episodes, and we just want to hear from you guys, because sometimes, it gets tiring just talking amongst ourselves, and we want external feedback, please. And if anyone knows why Doc Brown is still roaming around Orlando, just without a home, can somebody please tell us? And then if you saw Doc Brown and you said hi because you heard us on the show say that you should say hi, please tell us, because that would just kind of make our day.
He lost his entire institute. He has no job. He lost the entire institute.
That's pretty sad, because then it's like you were given the boot, but then they're like, you got to stay here walking around. It's like a ghost with unfinished business. Like you can't leave. And he's stuck there.
They added that little scene in the Simpsons ride where he's handing over the deed to the institute.
Oh my gosh, we got to get like footage of that. It's just like in the Winnie the Pooh ride where Toad handed over the deed to Owl.
Yeah.
Except we don't know where Toad is. Well, we kind of do. But that was the other episode. Watch our past episode. We'll talk about Mr. Toad. But now we're focused on Doc Brown and why he is without a home. But if you see him, just say hi. All right. So if you want to email us, you can email us at that really swell podcast at gmail.com. Say hi to us, talk to us, give us your feedback, give us your ideas. Just share and connect with us. Thank you so much for tuning in, and whatever you do it swell.
Whatever you do, Marty, do it swell.
No, this is just bye.
Whatever you do it swell. Okay.
Yeah.
Your teeth.
Yeah, I know, I do. Yeah.